Hi everybody. So for my technology resource assessment, I did the OneNote app by Microsoft. It's a general technology that can be used in any content area. It's basically a virtual note-taking app, but it also allows you to collaborate and make an online database, which I will explain later. It can be used on computers, it can be used on tablets, it can be used on smartphones. Once you get to their main page, OneNote.com, you click on Download OneNote, brings you to either the spot where you can download the software for your computer, or it will bring you to the App Store to download it that way. So this software, when you open it up, looks like this. You can click on these lines. It will give you a list of all your notebooks, so you can organize your notes that way. This is the main page. It brings you up so you can type up your notes. You can insert pictures, files, any audio. You can record lectures and discussions that way. You can draw on it, so I could highlight this essentially if I wanted to. You can view this in different ways. You can change the color of the page. Once it's done, you get to view it in a more elaborate, concise way once you're done. Here, you can add people to share it with, so you can collaborate with their classmates, your teacher, anyone you want. You can find deleted notes. You can see who worked on what, stuff like that. So I thought that this technology could be used almost as an online database, like I said, where you'd have groups of students working on a page, on a specific topic or theory that you want them to develop, and have discussions about it, add videos that are relevant, add media that's relevant, music, pictures, what have you, and then collaborate all together so that at the end there's a concise page full of a ton of information that they've gathered throughout the year, and it can be an online resource for the whole class, or it can be published to a class website for public use. I thought that this would definitely add value to students' learning experiences that wouldn't be available through less techy means. It allows people to organize notes, it allows them to collaborate, it allows them to have a bunch of discussions that you wouldn't otherwise be able to have without using technology, through the collaboration portion, through the facets of adding media and recording and stuff like that. On the SAMR model, I would classify it as the redefinition level, because it allows students to complete these tasks that otherwise wouldn't be possible for them. It allows them to make these pages, take these notes, add all this relevant supporting information that otherwise they wouldn't have had, and would further their learning on a deeper level that way. On the acquisition, meaning making, or transfer goals, I classified it as transfer. I thought it allowed students to apply their learning beyond the context that they learned it in by, adding those real world things to their pages, making it something that can be used by everyone in the class, or by the public, or as a resource that way. I thought it would help them create arguments, just, all around be something that they could use not only in one class, but in a lot of classes, and in the future going forward. Some pros and cons. I had a hard time finding a lot of cons. One was that it was challenging to work with at first without any direction, and that there's a lot of functions, so that can be confusing. The pros are that it's really organized. It stores all of its data on the app itself, so that there doesn't need to be any other computer. You can work on it from virtually anywhere, which is also really awesome. And then just all the facets that it has in general is really cool, and could be used in a variety of different ways. That leaves pretty much students to be able to do anything helpful for note-taking or for making an information page.
The name of the software that I chose is PhET. It is a technology that's useful for science and math teachers. Any elementary age students could benefit from it, as well as middle grades, science and math, and high school. In some of the videos I watched, there was college students using it as well. This technology, PhET technology, uses sims or simulations to show different scientific concepts. The students can toggle different variables and see what happens as far as states of matter, physics, chemistry, forces in motion. There's over 125 different sims that they can play around with. Now, anybody with internet access can go onto phet.colorado.edu, or if you are working on an Apple, they have an app in the Apple Store. I was able to find one through Google Play, but it's third party, and they are currently trying to raise money so that they can use HTML5 so that it can be accessed through all devices. I'm going to take you around a little bit here so you can see the simulations. You could click there, and that's where we're at right now. You can see them all listed. You can search by subject, but I'm going to take you all the way down here and show you the teaching resources, because that will be the most important part for you as you use it. Now you can go through and start browsing the different activities that are in here. You can browse by topic and age level to see what comes up, or you can just simply type in the unit that you're currently working on. I'm going to do something, states of matter, something that we're all very familiar with. Now the best part for us teachers is that there's lesson plans already made up in here. There's a lot of different variations. Some of them are done in Word documents so that you can go ahead and edit those the way that you want. Pay attention to these yellow stars that you're going to see here, because PhET has outlined some ways, guidelines that they can to get that yellow star, and it really lines up with our understanding by design. There's a lot of yellow stars on this one, but they're not all yellow stars, I promise you. So do pay attention to the yellow stars and before you start using them. Now this technology is a great way to add value into your classroom very inexpensively. It's free. Without a lot of scientific equipment, students can go around with the idea that they can go into these simulations and start manipulating the variables in there to see outcomes. So because there isn't a lot of instructions for them to deal with, they can jump right in and use some meaning making, where they can see if I start to add heat to this beaker of water, that the atoms become very excited and eventually they start to evaporate out. This is redefinition because it creates new tasks in a previously inconceivable way. This technology is great for meaning making, and it's meaning making that the students can go in and learn on their own just by clicking around. They can actually see what happens when you add heat or cold to a beaker of water without actually having to have all the technology and the Bunsen burner out and expensive lab equipment. This technology can move students toward their learning goal very quickly. Simulations are a great way to provide meaning making. Some of the pros from this technology is that they can move you faster toward your learning goal. There's a lot of meaning making inside of there. You can use Sims to hold interest and curiosity as the students are self-directed to move around inside of some of these simulations. There's very little reading to do inside, so they can be used by the very young or ESL students. The accompany lesson plans are great to really attach a lot of meaning to them, which is also one of the cons, is that there isn't a lot of information inside of any of the sims, so it really pairs well with the classroom lecture. Some are difficult to understand without of it. But this is great. You can see science in action, and I would have loved to have this when I was in school.